Hello guys, we're back again with another part of my Rastakhan's Rumble card review. Pod 4. Not got many more cards to go now, and I'm just getting really hyped for the expansion, and looking forward to getting stuck in. Trying a load of meme shenanigans, basically. Right, so, starting today with Bog Slosher. 3 mana 3/3 elemental, Battlecry, return a friendly minion to your hand, and give it +2/+2. Now, this is... Initially, you're thinking kind of like, oh, Shudderwock Shaman, it's going to be... You can use it, it's similar to like Zola. It's an elemental, so it has elemental synergy. I honestly am finding it really hard to say how much I like this card, because I think it's very good if you're using it on very cheap cards that have good battle cries. So things like Glacial Shard, it's only 1 mana. You're very happy to send it back to your hand again to... You know, play it again as a 4/3, freeze something else. Things like Keleseth, it's going to be very good with. Saronite Chain Gang is fantastic to give +2/+2. But it's not like... It's different to Zola because you're actually sending it back to your hand. Zola, you don't lose kind of like the tempo of taking something off your board. You leave the minion on the board and create a copy of it. This is actually taking the minion from the board, and then you have to play it again. So... It's a hard one to call. There are, with, say you're playing Elemental Shaman, there are a lot of good elemental battle cries. Like, generally when you're returning something to your hand, you want it to be something that's going to have a good battle cry, so that when you play it again, it's going to have a good effect. But you're playing a 3 mana 3/3, and taking a minion off the board. Like, 3 mana 3/3 is not that great. I mean, it's bad for tempo, really. And you're taking something off the board, so it's like... I want to say this card is good, and it can definitely do some good things with a lot of the early game elemental battle cries, but I don't know. Like, you only get the tempo back when you play the minion that you've returned again. It can be good with taunts as well. It can be good with things like Stonehill Defender. You're getting a battle cry, plus then when you next play it, you're getting like a 3 mana 3/6 taunt. So in some kind of like control-y elemental shaman, we could definitely give this card a go. Linecracker, 7 mana 5/10 epic overkill, double this minion's attack. Now, in standard, this card is, you know, it's a big boy, but it's you know, not going to be really good enough. In Arena, this card will be fantastic in Arena. 7 mana 5/10 that can get bigger. Like, this is crazy good for Arena, which is, I'm guessing, why it's an epic. Da Undertaker. 8 mana 8/5 legendary. Battlecry, gain the death rattle effects of 3 friendly minions that died this game. Now, this card's pretty crazy. There's a lot of kind of... It's neutral, so you can play it in any class, so it kind of gives you a lot of potential things you can do with this in different classes. There's obviously different death rattle effects in different decks. There's lots of, like... There's actually quite a few death rattle decks at the moment with, like, death rattle hunter with eggs and stuff. And... Yeah. It's... I mean, I was about to say it's similar to N'Zoth, but it's not really similar to N'Zoth at all. But I think this card's really good. I think this card's really good. The downside, it's an 8 mana 8/5, which is obviously really bad stats for 8 mana. But you can get an 8 mana 8/5 that summons you like a Devilsaur Egg, a 7/7. It can potentially be a really powerful card in a death rattle deck. It's very vulnerable to silence, is one of the downsides. Like, the whole value of this card is in its death rattle. So you're going to want to, well, maybe naturalize it or have some way of being able to kill it off. Like, using Play Dead on this would be fantastic. Like, playing this with Play Dead would be incredible. Yeah. It'd be interesting to try this out in a variety of different decks. There's also the Pollen card that we just spoke about near the start. Immortal Prelate. Death Rattle, shuffle it into your deck, and it keeps any enchantments. I think this actually synergizes with the Undertaker as well. So you can, when it dies, it'll shuffle it back into your deck and keep the Death Rattles. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I feel like we'll see this card somewhere. Gurubashi Hypemon, 7 mana 5/7 Battlecry, discover a 1/1 copy of a Battlecry minion, it costs 1. To me, this card just seems pretty overpriced. 7 mana 5/7 is obviously really bad stats. Discovering a 1/1 copy of a Battlecry minion, there's going to be some Battlecry minions you can get that are fantastic, but you don't know what you're getting, it's pretty inconsistent. So yeah, I don't think we'll see this card anywhere. Okay, Sand Drudge, 3 mana 3/3 priest, common minion. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 zombie with Taunt. Now, I think this card is actually very good. You got quite a lot of good cheap priest spells, Circle of Healing, Powered Shield, Holy Smite, you know, that type of thing. That can allow you to easily generate lots of 1/1s of this. It has similarities to Violet Teacher in a way, how it's just a a body that can create lots of 1/1s. But the 1/1s even have Taunt, which is good. Obviously, it's very different. Violet Teacher you can play in any class. This you can only play in Priest. And you don't really have many token synergies in Priest. You can't play like Savage, Raw Power, the Wild Soul, the Forest. So you don't have all these kind of like advantages of getting a big board. But this could just be good in like a Tempo Priest deck. The 1/1s are obviously going to be good against aggressive decks. So I really like this card. I think this card is very good. Mahjong Announcer. 5 mana, 6/5, epic. Enemies attacking this have a 50% chance to attack someone else. This is just kind of like another kind of plain and simple card. Like, no one's going to play this in Constructed. I don't think, anyway. I mean, it kind of, like, its effect kind of protects itself a little bit from trades. But yeah, I don't think this card will see much play. Mark of the Lower. 4 mana Druid spells are rare. Choose one, give minion +2/+4, and Taunt also on 2/3/2 Raptors. Giving a minion +2/+4 and Taunt for 4 mana is very expensive. Like, obviously the choose one cards, one of the best things about them is that they're like flexible, and that you have the option to pick one based on your situation, but giving someone +2/+4 for 4 mana is very expensive. Summoning 2/3/2 Raptors is actually pretty good. Like, for 4 mana, 2/3/2s for 4 mana is really not that bad. I don't think this card will see any play in Constructed, to be honest, but maybe some kind of like mid-range aggressive druidy deck. You can creating 2 Raptors is kind of nice, but yeah, it just doesn't seem quite good enough to me. Snapjaw Shellfighter, 5 mana, 3/8. Whenever adjacent minion takes damage, this minion takes it instead. It's an epic. This has, well, kind of like similarities to Bolf Ramshield, but Bolf was never really any good. It's an interesting kind of mechanic to have, because you can have a Taunt and then put this behind the Taunt, and then by putting this behind the Taunt, you're kind of protecting the Taunt. I'm just trying to think what there might be some minions that you want to like protect with this, like aggressive minions that could potentially grow. Things like Questing Adventurer, Henchland Thug, Scavenging Hyena, like these kind of threatening minions. Fledgling, you put this next to them, it can protect them, but it seems a bit too quirky, and a bit too hard to like consistently pull off. Splitting Image, a 3 mana Mage Secret. When one of your minions is attacked, summon a copy of it. So to me, this has similarities to Effigy, where when one of your minions died, it would summon another minion of the same mana cost. I feel like probably better, because you kind of get to choose what you're getting. Obviously, you don't get to choose exactly what minion, what your opponent attacks, but if you only have 1 minion on the board, then you know exactly what you're going to get. Like, if you have this on the board and all you have is Lich King, they trade in your Lich King, you get another Lich King for 3 mana, which is really good. Although I do think if this does see any play, it's more likely to be in more of a Tempo Mage deck. Like playing this and you're able to get another like Kirin Mage or another Luna or something like that. Or more kind of cheapish minion. Like, I can imagine there'd be situations where you like Kirin Mage Splitting Image, and then you just get another Kirin Mage. Or maybe they use a spell and you Kirin Mage. You play like a Cosmic Anomaly. Like, what this can allow you to do is play minions that you kind of want to hold back, because you don't want them to die straight away. But this can maybe let you play that, because you can play your Cosmic Anomaly. They're like, oh, I got to kill that straight away. It gives them +2 to spell damage. They'll kill it, but then they'll trade into it. But then you have this and you create another one. And then you can go off with spells next turn. So this could be interesting in more aggressive mage decks. Now, this is one of the craziest cards of the expansion. I'm super hyped about this card. Zul'jin, Hunter Hero card. 10 mana, you gain 5 armor. Battlecry casts all spells you've played this game. Targets chosen randomly. So it has a lot of resemblance to Yogg. And I'm a massive fan of Yogg. Yogg is one of my favorite cards to ever play. It's obviously a bit different to Yogg though. Like, Yogg stops casting things when it kills itself. This doesn't. This just casts all the spells you've played. It doesn't, stop for any reason. And you know what spells it's going to cast. Like, there's certain things like kill commands or flanking strikes, which could target different things. You don't know exactly what it's going to target. It could target your own face, kill your own minions. You don't really know. But then there's a lot of spells that you do know what you're going to want to do. Like, in a Spell Hunter, this could be really, really good as a finisher. You'll play a bunch of secrets. You'll probably summon a load of wolves from the Spellstone. Animal companions, you might get Huffers and Mishas. You could do deadly shots, crushing walls to clear the opponent's board. So you can kind of consistently, whenever you play this card, get a bunch of secrets, get a big board, remove a chunk of your opponent's board. And you're gaining a bit of health. So this is really powerful. The only issue is that you've also got Deathstalker Rexar, which is very strong. And, like, I feel like in a Spell Hunter deck, you're probably going to want to play both. I don't think this is going to, like, replace Deathstalker Rexar. The hero power for this, by the way, when you change, is just deal 2 damage. So it's the same as the Hunter hero power, except you can target minions as well. Which I think a lot of people think is weak. It's like, oh, it's only deal 2 damage. Compare that to Gul'dan, which, you know, deals 3 and restores 3 as well. But I think the Death Knights, or a lot of them, are, like, a bit too strong, and they kind of, like, take up a bit too much of, like, the meta. Like, they're just too powerful and kind of stop other value cards from being played. So I think it is important that the hero cards that are released after the Death Knights are a bit less powerful, which they are. They're definitely, like, this is definitely less powerful than Gul'dan, but it's still very, very strong. So, yeah, this is hyped about this card. Mojo Masters II, 6 mana 5/5, Battlecry, set each player to 5 mana crystals. This card is really interesting because the initial thing you can think about it is, oh, this is very good against Druids. Druids get to 10 mana in no time at all. Let's just put them back to 5 mana. But this can actually be very good against combo decks. Things like Malygos decks and Mecha'thun decks, like they're kind of drawing the deck, doing all this stuff, trying to get to their combo, and then you're just trying to buy a bit of time to survive. Mojo Masters II can absolutely destroy this. Like Mecha'thun decks, like say you're against Mecha'thun Priest, I think they need like 9 mana to do their combo or something. Yeah, you just play this, and then you have so many more turns until they can actually do their combo, and you have all these turns to do other stuff. You're not going to have all your mana, like you're going to have 6, 7, 8, whatever, but it's going to buy you a lot of time. And they'll most likely be in fatigue at that point, like thinking specifically about Mecha'thun Priest here. But this can really actually be good, surprisingly good against combo decks. Same with Shudderwock. They can be about to use their Shudderwock, you know, they've used all their combo pieces, they're right at the bottom of the deck. Bam, you play Zihi, and okay, they're at 5 mana crystals. And, you know, you got a few turns until they can even play Shudderwock. So, yeah, this could be really interesting. And I think this will definitely see play somewhere. Spirit of the Rhino. 1 mana 0/3 rare. This is the warrior spirit. Stealth for 1 turn. Your rush minions are immune the turn they're summoned. This seems very good to me in a kind of tempo rush warrior deck. It's only 1 mana, and you can use all your rush minions, things like Darius, for example, and give them immune. So they can just kill things, not take any damage. And yeah, I'm not fully convinced the Tempo Warrior will be like a really good deck, but if it is, this card will be fantastic in that type of deck. Bloodsail Howler, 2 mana 1/1 Rogue Pirate, Rush Battlecry gain +1/+1 for each of the pirate you control. This is kind of a weird one because initially it doesn't look that good, but as soon as you have 2 pirates, it becomes a 2 mana 3/3 with Rush, which is very good. It's also a pirate, has pirate synergies. I'm really finding it hard to say how good this card's going to be, because if you're ahead and if you're in a really good position, this can be really, really powerful. It also synergizes with the Rogue Spirit. If we were at the bottom here, Spirit of the Shark. Your minions, Battlecries, and combos trigger twice. So say you play this on 4, you can play 1 or 2 more minions on 5, and then play the 1/1 guy, wherever he's gone, Bloodsail Howler. And the Battlecry goes off twice. So say you played a couple of minions, and this, you have your 0/3 guy, you play your 2 minions, this gets +3/+3 twice, so you can easily get like a 7/7, so with Rush for 2 mana. So this has really high potential. It's not going to be a good 2-drop on turn 2, but it's going to be a good 2, it could easily be a good 2-drop in the mid-game for tempo. So, yeah, we might even see Pirate Rogue being more of a mid-range tempo deck, rather than like a fully fledged aggro deck, like most pirate decks have been. Mass Hysteria. Force each minion to attack another random minion. Now, this card is like nuts. Obviously, you're going to be using this in like a control deck where you have nothing on the board and you just want your opponent's minions to trade into each other. But how good this is going to be, I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, if your opponent has a load of low attack and high health minions, this card's just not going to be very good because they'll all just be doing 1 or 2 damage to each other and not really doing that much. If they've got a load of high attack minions with low health, then this will be great because they'll all be trading into each other and killing each other. So, I don't know. If you're playing like a full control priest deck, I think you will play this card because it's just, in a control priest deck, you're not going to be having much on the board. You can use this as removal, even if it's kind of inconsistent. But, yeah. I've never really liked Brawl because of the kind of randomness. It's like a board clear, but it's like a RNG board clear. This is heavily like an RNG board clear, potentially here. So this card could be very interesting. The Beast Within. A 1-mana hunter spell. Epic. Give a friendly beast +1/+1, then it attacks a random enemy minion. Now, I'm assuming that this works where you play a minion. So say you play your turn 7, you play your high main. You can play this on the high main, and then it attacks something. You give it +1/+1, make it 7/6, and then it attacks from random. Even if it's on the turn it spawns. So you can kind of like give minions rush, essentially. Or if something's already attacked, I'm pretty sure you can use this on it again and make it attack again. You don't get to choose what minion you're attacking, so if your opponent's got a few things on the board, this could be a bit awkward. Honestly, this card has really good potential for like trading, but I honestly don't think it'll see much play because it's just seems a bit awkward to use. And also, Hunter doesn't have that much... I say Hunter doesn't have that much card draw. There is a new Hunter card draw spell that could potentially draw you 3 cards. So in that type of deck, maybe you could actually play this card. But it does seem a little bit awkward to like consistently benefit off of. Like if your opponent has no minions, it's literally just 1 mana, give minion +1/+1. So which isn't very good. Kragwa the Frog. 6 mana 4/6 beast. Battlecry, return all spells you played that turn to your hand. This is simply just, in a control Shaman deck, a really good value tool. Shaman has a lot of spells that... Shaman has kind of a lot of spells, but some spells that are really good and some spells that are really bad. So in a control Shaman deck, you're playing your really good spells like your Hexes, your Lightning Storms, your Volcanoes. But there's a lot of Shaman spells that aren't very good. So you can use this to kind of make more copies of the really good Shaman spells. You can have 3 Hexes, 3 Volcanoes, 3 Lightning Storms, whatever. And you pick which one you get. You know you've used a spell last turn. You know exactly what you're going to get. So this is a really good value tool in a control deck that can give you more answers. This card is really good. It's obviously 6 mana 4/6, which is slow stats, but it's a good card. Also works with Shudderwock. Shudderwock can consistently give you all the spells you played last turn. Every single time. Then again, if you're playing Shudderwock and you're playing Shudderwock again, you're probably not going to have played any spells last turn, but you get what I mean. Tree Speaker, 5 mana 4/4, Battlecry, transform your Treants into 5/5 Ancients. Now, this is the kind of Druid card I like to see. Treants and, well, evolving them and buffing things is kind of all what Druid's about, and I think this is really... Like, Treant Druid just isn't really a thing right now because there's so many other things like Token Druid and Malagos Druid, Togwaggle Druid, Mecha'thun Druid, all these different things. I like what this card is trying to do. It's a 5 mana 4/4, so it's not got terrible stats. And your Treants are going to be 2/2s, so, well, almost all the time. So, turning them into 5/5s is very, very good. It's not like you're giving them +3/+3, though. You can't, like, attack with the 5/5s. You have to, like, play the 2/2, have the 2/2s. You can maybe attack with the 2/2s, and then you just turn them into 5/5s, and they can't attack until the next turn. But you are giving them +3/+3. Like, this card is very strong. Like, you can get it on 1 Treant, and you'll be pretty happy with it. The issue is that there aren't that many powerful Treant cards right now. There's the 3 mana, there's Landscaping, 3 mana summon 2/2/2s. There's Force of Nature, which summons 3 Treants. There's Living Mana, which you don't want to use it on because you lose all of your mana crystals. Soul of the Forest is a good one, a good way. You can do Whispering Wood, Soul of the Forest, and then after you've got all your Treants, use this on it to get a big board. So I'm not quite sure if there's enough Treant synergy to actually make this work, but the potential is there. I'll definitely give it a go. Scorch. Fornum mage spell. Rare. Deal 4 damage to a minion. Cost 1 if you played an elemental last turn. Very, very good card. Basically like a Wing Blast, but you don't have to trade anything off. You're obviously going to be playing this in an elemental Shaman deck. So it should pretty much always cost 1 mana if you're playing enough elementals. 1 mana deal 4 damage is fantastic. You can easily kill things like Henchland Thugs, Frothing Berserker, just for 1 mana. Valdori Strider. Just trying to think of cards that are actually in the meta. But yeah, this card is really good. And combined with the other 0 mana card that's good for Elemental Mage, I think Elemental Mage actually has a real shot of being a competitive deck, which is nice to see. Don't know how exactly it's going to be built. We'll do some theory crafting pretty soon, but yeah. Regenerate. 0 mana, restore 3 health. It's not really that exciting, but 0 mana, you can never underestimate 0 mana cards. It's like free tempo. Using this with Cleric, you can use this on Injured Blade Master. Wild Pyromancer is often used in a lot of priest decks. This could be really nice with Wild Pyromancer. Could just be a good card for, potentially a useful card for a tempo, just a tempo priest deck. When I look at it though, I'm always going to be thinking, oh, Circle of Healing is so much better. Like, I much prefer Circle of Healing to this card, but if you make a 0 mana card like this too powerful, it can get out of control. So this is another one that's definitely going to be better than it looks. There's also a new priest card. I'll talk about it in, I think, the next video. The 2 mana 3/2 Orc Knife Phantasm. This turn your healing effects deal damage instead, so it could be really good with that. Play this, deal 3 damage for 0 mana. I'm not sure if that will actually happen, but yeah, the card is okay. Let me just work out how many cards I want to. Okay. Honore Tours. 3-mana 3/5 beast. Battlecry, deal 5 damage to your hero. So, maybe we could make this work in some kind of Pollen deck that, you know, you want to make value out of lifesteal, but you're never damaged. This is a way of actually damaging yourself. It's got decent stats for 3 mana. But honestly, I think it's just not good enough. Like, a 3-mana 3/4 would never see any play. This is a 3-mana 3/5 that kills you. Yeah, I just don't think it's good enough, really. There's another card that damages us that we'll come on to soon that I think is significantly better. Demon Bolt. 8-mana Warlock spell. Destroy a minion, and it costs 1 less for each minion you call. Now, you control. So they said they didn't want this to be 7 mana because you can play your Gul'dan Death Knight, have a full board, and then just play this for 0 mana and destroy something. I honestly don't... This could be good in like a Q-block type deck, like a kind of mid-rangey Warlock type deck. I think this could potentially be used. I don't think we'd play this in Zoo because Zoo is just trying to kill your opponent. Like, you'd rather just play like a Silence, I think. Like, you'd only be needing to destroy a minion to get for a Taunt, and you can just play a Silence. Zoo will... I mean, Zoo, the current Zoo list doesn't actually flood the board that much as well. Like, you play like a few minions, you play like Killer Seth, you play like Serenade Chain Gang, you play Fungal Man, so you can have like 3 or 4 minions on the board. But it's very rare you're having like 5 or 6 minions. So it's going to be very hard. It's very rare you're going to get this to 2 or 3 mana. I mean, 4 mana Destroy Minion is still very good. 5 mana Destroy Minion is not, it's just like Assassinate though. It's, yeah. I think maybe in some kind of combo-y or mid-rangey Warlock, but not in like a full-fledged Zoo. Flash of Light, 2 mana, restore full health, draw a card. Does what it says on the tin. Like, if you're playing this on turn 2, it's just 2 mana, draw a card. So you're gonna have to be damaged or healing a minion or something like that. There is a weapon. In fact, I'm gonna mention it now. The Blood Claw, which we're gonna come on to in a minute. 1 mana, 2/2. Battlecry, deal 5 damage to your hero. I think this card is really good and very good for a kind of control-y Paladin deck. It's cheap removal, and usually, obviously, damaging your hero is bad, but when you're playing a lot of healing cards, maybe like Flash of Light, this could potentially be really good. So I think Blood Claw is, like, significantly better than Honore Tours. This could definitely potentially see some play. If we play any kind of, like, healing Paladin decks, obviously there's a new 4/4 guy that can turn into an 8/8 if you've restored... where is he? No, this guy. If you restore 10 health, this game plus 4/4 and Taunt, but the issue is that it's really hard to gain health because you're not damaged enough. So Blood Claw can really help with that. Yeah, and I think this card is just good. This, however, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not totally sold on this card, but draws your card. It heals you. You know, if that's what your whole deck is about, like a controlling deck that needs healing synergies, then maybe this could see some play. Blood Troll Sapper. A 7 mana 5/8. After a friendly minion dies, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. Now, 7 mana 5/8 is terrible. So at first glance, this card is just like, yeah, this is just trash, right? Surely this is never going to see any play. And I kind of agree. I do see a slim bit of potential with it, though. Like, it is an 8 health minion. It's not, like, the easiest thing to kill in the world. And if you're playing a like, tokeny Warlock deck or a Zoo-type deck, a lot of the time what happens is you play your stuff, you'd get a lot of damage through, and then your opponent kind of clears up and taunts, clears the board or taunts, and then you're kind of struggling to do stuff. This can, like, get through taunts. Like, you can have your board of, say, 4 or 5 minions. They play their big Void Lord or something, which you're not going to be able to get through. I mean, you could have a Silence. But what I'm basically trying to say is that what this could be is a 7 mana 5/8 that also, like, Pyroblasts your opponent's face. Or does 8 damage to your opponent's face. Like, maybe even more if it survives. I think it's very unlikely. I don't think this card will see any competitive play, but I think it's better than it looks. Okay, Chiti, Ankle Biter. 2 mana 2/1, lifesteal, Battlecry, 2 damage. This card is just... It's kind of nice. It's not doing anything crazy. It's not OP. It's not terrible. You can remove a cheap minion, get some lifesteal. But getting the lifesteal from the 1 damage is not a massive deal. One thing I'm actually kind of thinking about is maybe there could be some kind of aggro healer-in deck that plays like Blood Claw, plays this type of thing, so you can like heal yourself up while getting tempo, and then you could play like Happy Ghoul for 0 mana. Like that type of thing could actually be pretty interesting. But yeah, this card is probably not going to see play, except in a very... I think that type of deck is the only way it could see play. Like an aggressive heal deck somehow. Serrated Tooth, a 1 mana 1/3 rogue weapon. Death Rattle, give your minions rush. Obviously, you've already got the Rogue Dagger for 2 mana. So, it makes it a little bit dodgy. You're probably going to want to play this in a deck where you're not daggering on turn 2. Like, you want to be a rogue deck where you're not thinking, right, it's turn 2, I'm going to dagger. Because the majority of rogue decks, you just dagger on turn 2. Pirate Rogue is probably going to be the perfect place to play this card because you can play your 2-drop. You can play your Bloodsail Raider or the new 2/2 guy that summons a 1/1 when you attack with your weapon. Like, both of those minions are going to be perfect with this. So, I think Pirate Rogue would be where we see this card, if we do see it. And then on the turn, you kill this off, your minions can have Rush, which is really nice. Like, and what you can actually give Rush, like, you can use Serrated Tooth with minion that's deep down here. Ticket Scalper, potentially. Give this Rush. When this has Rush, it's very easy to get the overkill effect, which means it's very easy to draw 2 cards. So, Pirate Rogue could really be a thing. I think Pirate Rogue will be the best deck for this weapon, though. I can't see many other places you play this other than... I mean, maybe some other kind of aggressive or tempo rogue deck, but not one when you're daggering on turn 2. You want to have other turn 2 options. Okay, and finally for this video, we have Half-Time Scavenger. 4 mana 3/5 stealth, overkill, gain 3 armor. This card is like... I don't know, it's kind of... I actually like this card a lot. In Arena, this would be a really nice card. Like a 4 mana 3/5. Like the fact it has stealth means that you get to dictate the trades a bit. As the small effect of gaining 3 armor, which probably isn't going to be that relevant, but it's kind of nice. I think this is just going to be a good arena card. Inconstructed. Is there any reason for like a stealth minion like this? Maybe you can play like Divine Spirit and a Fire Priest. You play this, it has stealth. Then you can do stuff to it. But yeah, 4 mana 3/5 isn't really good enough in... Honestly, it's really not bad. It's really not bad. The stealth means you get to make the trade. This card is actually pretty good. Like, would you ever play this in like a control deck where you're in a deck class that doesn't have much healing? I like this a lot, actually. I don't know. Maybe some kind of like control rogue. Like, rogue has very little healing. You can play this. You dictate the trades. You gain some armor. I think it's unlikely, but I do really like this card, actually. I really like this card. Sweet. Well, that's it for part 4 of my card review. We have one more part to go where we'll be talking about all the final cards and an egg, PogChamp. We've actually got an egg in the new expansion, and I'm super hyped about it. And I think it's really good. So, yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the next video.